Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game episodes 44 and 45. Before we talk about the actual episodes, the day this is going up should be October 2nd, and Digimon Ghost Game started October 3rd, 2021, so we are right at the 2-year anniversary of this show. And it's kind of crazy to think that it's been 2 years since it started already, and it's been half a year since it ended. I think it ended back in March, and it's October now, so Digimon Ghost Game. It's already getting old. Alright, so let's talk about episode 44. This episode is titled Rust. So the episode's open where people are just in their house, and an earthquake starts, and they run out. And then they look back at their house, and they realize that there's not actually an earthquake, only their house is shaking. And so after that, our sort of premise for the episode is Hiro has a classmate who I think is younger than him, because the classmate calls him senpai, who is able to order things for his classmates and get them the next day, even if they're hard to get, even if they haven't released yet. And so he is just sort of using his ability to get things for his classmates to sort of make friends, kind of. We don't really touch on him much in this episode. Like, it's mentioned a couple times that that's why he is using the site that ends up being the big problem with the episode, is to sort of, get a lot of friends, but they don't really touch on it much, and I wish they had focused on it a bit more. So, throughout the episode, we just get the earthquakes. We're starting to see rust, right? It's the name of the episode, rust, all over the place, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, an apartment building is shaking, and then there's this weird moment where a woman, like, at the door to her apartment, like, screams, and the reason she screamed is because her metal door just had rust on it now, which is a bit silly, but anyway. Hiro confronts his classmate, gets him to tell him the website that he's using to order all these things, and eventually tracks it back to Jellymon. This is a business venture that Jellymon has with a group of 3 Antilamon, where people make an order, and then Antilamon have the ability to just sort of create things. So people put in an order for something, the Antilamon do like a little funny dance, and then boom, the thing that you want, it appears. They're making food, they're making objects, they're making all kinds of stuff. But sort of our problem for the episode is that they're not making things out of nothing, they're pulling things from buildings. So, like, buildings are cracking and rusting and just sort of deteriorating, and that's because these Antilamon are going there, making stuff, and it's pulling materials to make those things out of the buildings. And so we get this classmate who's made this ridiculously huge order, and he's going to tear down the whole dorm building, basically. So Jellymon, running this business with the Antilamon, tries to stop them, and they basically say, nope, if you want to cancel the orders, you got to do it the correct way, and the correct way is to get this kid's computer and cancel the orders. So we get a fight with the Antilamon, which is a bit silly, how it came to that. But it's a good fight, and this episode and the next episode, they're like some really good animation in both of them. The fight with the Antilamon has a couple of really good spots here. And the way that we end up defeating them is Jellymon just finds the kid's computer and cancels all the orders, while Gamamon and Antilamon... Antilamon? No. Gamamon and... I can't think of his name. The other rabbit. Angoramon. Gamamon and Angoramon are fighting the Antilamon, and then Jellymon's just canceling orders. So that's our episode. The resolution is that, they came to this world to sort of make things. Well, I don't know if they purposely came to this world to do it, but they had a run-in with Hiro's dad, and he's like, wow, you can make anything. Nowhere in the world would dislike you for that, or something like that. I forget exactly how it was phrased, but... so they came to the human world, or they're in the human world, and they just want to make things for humans. And so the resolution is that Kyoshiro, who has been away on a business trip this whole episode, shows up and brings them to this recycling center where there's just a bunch of basically trash that needs to get recycled, which is why he was away on business. He was working out like a way to dispose of it or something. But he puts the Antilamon there, and they can just build whatever they want out of the junk. So that's the episode. It was okay. No, we can't cancel the orders. If you want to cancel the orders, you gotta do it the good old-fashioned way. Is silly. But the animation was good. These Antilamon were also the original design. Like, the old design and the new design aren't very different, right? Like, the original design is just Antilamon minus the scarf that the one from Tamers has. But that's neat. Like, I don't know when they've shown up post-Tamers. Like, they'd never show up in anything. And I think they're virus type instead of data or vaccine or whatever the other Antilamon is. So that was cool. The animation was neat. For the most part, just a fine episode. Episode 45, this one is called Ghost Newspaper. People are getting emails from Publi News saying what the news is going to be tomorrow. And it starts like small scale stuff, like classmates of Hiro being like, what is his friend? Kota? Something like that? I forget. The one that's in a bunch of episodes and always gets hurt by Digimon. He deletes it and basically insults it. And so the Digimon at work here is making bad things happen to the people that insult his newsletter. So he deletes the email, says it's boring or something, and then next day he gets another Publi News, and it's like, hey, Kotaro? I don't remember what his name is, but you are gonna fall and get injured, and it comes true because he interferes. And alright, and then this part, I wasn't expecting anything from this. This is sort of like where the episode veered off in a direction I wasn't expecting. I expected it to just be contained to Hiro's classmates, like a lot of these episodes are. So we get to Kyoshiro, who is hanging out with Ryudamon and Gamamon, and Kyoshiro is getting them into this idol group that he likes. It's made up of 3 voice actors from a show that he likes. Kyoshiro, Ryudamon, Gamamon do the little intro, and it's silly. And in my notes, it's called D-Toppy, I think, or D-Topics. It was called both in the episode, so I assume D-Topics is the full name, and Kyoshiro shortens it to D-Toppy. But in my notes, I just have Kyoshiro corrupting Ryudamon and Gamamon. This is a funny little thing going on in the background that I like about this show. Like, I like Gamamon and Kyoshiro together. Like, we have the setup of Kyoshiro doesn't actually have to go to school because he's so smart. Like, he came to Japan to go to school, but he's already graduated, like, college or something. And I think in Japan, you're not allowed to skip grades anyway. So he doesn't go to class. He doesn't need to. So he's basically taking care of Gamamon all the time. And throughout the show, we've seen moments where, like, Kyoshiro and Gamamon are watching anime and stuff. Excuse me. And I just think that's fun. So yeah, Kyoshiro's getting them into this idol group that he likes. Another person that's in this show a lot and like are usually getting injured or some way involved with the Digimon is one of Ruri's friends, Mika. She gets hit by a truck. She's fine, just a little scraped up, but like she also insulted the news, and like the news comes out for the next day and it's like, yeah, she's gonna get hit by a truck, and she did. So we've got a Digimon here that is actually very malicious and injuring people purposefully, and eventually sort of where the D-Toppy stuff comes back in is he decides that this Digimon was looking too small scale, so to get his views on his newspaper up, he says one of the members of this idol group is going to die, and so Hiro, Ruri, Kyoshiro, they go to stop it. And so the second half of this episode is just our main cast trying to protect these idols. And one of them, the youngest one, who is actually pretty afraid of this whole thing, gets close and friendly with Gamamon, and they would just have like a good little relationship going on. But yeah, that's the second half. It's just protecting them. We eventually get the reveal of who the Digimon is. Publimon, who is a new Digimon for this show. I think the first new Digimon for the show, which is cool. We've had a lot of old Digimon pop back up, and besides the main character's Digimon, we haven't really had any new ones, I don't think. So getting a new Digimon was neat. He basically kills himself. Like, I had to rewatch the scene because I wasn't sure when he died, because he does die, whether Gamamon and Hero actually attack him and kill him, or if he just falls, because the sequence of events is silly. But the idols are on this cooking show, right? If you watch Idol anything, TV stuff, that's not too big of a stretch. They do that all the time. But the youngest one loses, and so she gets punished. And what is her punishment? Skydiving. So she jumps out of a plane, and Publimon knocks out the, I don't know what they would be called, but the guy skydiving with her in the back that she's connected to that knows what he's doing. He knocks him out, so she's just free falling. And so our fight for this episode is just Kaus Gamamon, who doesn't really get much time to shine in this show, so this was a good episode for him, with Hero, and then this idol and the instructor on his back, flying, and then Publimon falling. He jumped out of the plane that they jumped out of, and had a parachute, and then he punctured his own parachute so he could fall faster, and then he's just attacking as they fall, because he's trying to kill this girl so he could get the news. And then he just falls into the ground and dies. And I rewatched this scene, just like the last little bit there, and we see as they're falling, Hero sort of reach out for him. And then he crashes into the ground and dies. So, yeah, that's the episode. We get some good animation, especially in the plane. There's a couple of attacks where Publimon, who has the ability to manifest arms and legs and stuff, just out of objects or whatever, which is how he's attacking people. There's a really good sequence of animation there from the moment he knocks out the skydiving instructor or whatever, to the moment where Gamamon drags Hero out of the plane. So really good animation in a couple of spots in both of these episodes. Another thing I wanted to comment on, which I skipped over, Kyoshiro, he gets attacked by Publimon earlier in the episode, where the news is something fell on his head and cracked his skull in two. But then Kyoshiro is saved by Espimon. And I wanted to bring this up because maybe I haven't paid attention to Espimon's attacks, or they haven't used this one. I don't remember the name of the attack, but it's basically him throwing computer mice with mice faces, and the cord is a little bit of a tail, which I thought was it's just a cute little attack that I wanted to comment on. But yeah, that's episode 44 and 45. Not the best episodes, but pretty solid. I think Ghost Newspaper was the strongest one, just because we had an actual malicious Digimon doing bad things for bad reasons. He was attacking people so he could make his newspaper popular. I like that one. I like when the episodes have an actual bad guy every once in a while. I don't mind the Digimon are misunderstood thing. I think that whole setup works really well for the show, especially when Digimon are just being thrown into the human world, not by choice. So I don't mind that so much, but I think an episode like this, where we have an actual malicious Digimon who doesn't just, at the end of the episode, say, alright, you beat me, I'll be a good guy now. We need these kinds of episodes every once in a while. Like the Digitamamon episode, too, where Digimon need to die every once in a while to make it feel like we need actual antagonists like this, is what I'm saying. Anyway, Digimon Ghost Game, 44 and 45. Pretty good episodes. Not my favorite. Not that bad, though. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.